Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. This is the translation of the message that was sent to me. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story, A Hidden Identity? I am an 18-year-old woman who is currently living in South Africa, but my father, he has since rejected me because my mom ran away with me. My mom was from Malawi, so on her way returning back to Malawi, she then stopped by because she had a boyfriend of hers who was in Zim. And when she stopped by in Zim, that was when she got married in Zim. That was where I got my birth certificate as well as my ID. After my mother had passed away, that was when my stepfather said, unfortunately, he could not take care of me anymore because we were not related. So he could not assist me anymore since we are not related. All that he could do was to get me a birth certificate and an ID. So I was really lost and I did not know where to go to. So I returned back to South Africa where I traced my father. When I traced my father, he then rejected me because of the heartbreak that he had been given by my mother, because my mother just stole me and ran away with me. So my father, instead of rejoicing that I had been able to trace him, he rejected me. So I then started working in the streets in Pretoria as I was selling my body. During the day, I was working at this other Somalian shop, and at night, I'll just hang around until it was dark. Then I'll start to prostitute myself. I used to stay at this other guest house. After I would have prostituted myself, I would then go to that guest house where I will sleep until the next day. Then I will bath and I will return back to work. That was how I was surviving. I worked as a prostitute from 16 until I met a Nigerian who said that I was too young to be in the streets to be a prostitute. So he took me in, but at first he kept on giving me money. He will drive by and he will give me some money. And when I will say that, do you want the cookie? And he will say, no, it is yours. Just take this money. So this guy, when I saw that he was quite a caring guy, that was when I agreed to stay with him. I started staying with that guy and he took me in as his wife, but he introduced me to Juju. At first, he gave me some charms, which he said that it was going to make me to be very attractive. And this did not even make sense because I was now more like his wife, but he still wanted me to be very attractive when other men will be looking at me. Finally, when he started introducing me to drugs, like I would go around transporting drugs, that was when I understood the reason as to why he wanted me to be that attractive, because sometimes I'll come across a roadblock. Instead of the police doing their job, they will be proposing love to me because of the charms that he had given me that made me to be very attractive. So I worked for a very long time whilst I was transporting their drugs. He even wanted me to go to Brazil to go and collect the drugs, but I was really scared and I was someone that was really nervous. So I never went there. Then there was this other time when he was sent to Mexico. He had been sent there to collect some drugs, but when he went there, he said that he saw this as an opportunity to turn his life around. Instead of returning back to South Africa to continue dealing in drugs, he thought of going to America and to turn his life around, but instead he was arrested and he got deported. And when he got deported, his other gang members, they did not want to assist him because they knew what he had done. So they were all ignoring him and he was desperate. He wanted to return back to South Africa. I was the one who helped him. I returned back to the streets. When I returned back to the streets, I worked each and every money that I was making. I was sending this money to him until he said that I was supposed to book the flight tickets for him. I was the one who helped him with the flight tickets to return back to South Africa. He brought back some items which he said that he wanted to create an altar, because when he was still there in Nigeria, he had been going around until he had met this other voodoo priest in his country. who had assisted him. He brought this other huge black mirror and some items, and those were the ones that we used when he was creating that altar. Then sent the voodoo priest some money because he was supposed to be here in South Africa for the ritual sacrifice, and he came. When he came, we stood in front of the mirror for a very long time because he wanted to sacrifice his mother. The mother could not be sacrificed because she was someone that was very strong in prayer. She was quite a prayerful woman. So after we had seen that his mother could not be sacrificed, then that voodoo priest turned around and looked at me and said that I was the one who was supposed to offer a sacrifice, since this demonic spirit had already been invited from hell. Then it could not return back without a sacrifice. Otherwise, my boyfriend was going to be killed, for blood was needed on that night. When this mirror would have demanded blood, then blood was going to be needed. So I then asked him, who was I supposed to sacrifice? Then that voodoo priest pointed at my stomach and said, how about you give me your womb? And that is how I sacrificed my womb. I sacrificed my womb on behalf of my Nigerian boyfriend, and currently we are still staying together. But that was the sacrifice that I had to do for him. He treats me like a queen. After I had sacrificed my womb, that was when we started making money. We made money, me and my Nigerian boyfriend, for about 3 months. We then left the place where we were staying, and we started staying in another province where no one knows me and him. We just wanted to start a brand new life. And me and my Nigerian boyfriend, we had been told that every night when we go to bed, if we want money, we have to take that mirror, and then we make love on the floor right next to the mirror. And after that, my boyfriend, he has to get on his knees, and then he has to ejaculate his sperms on top of that mirror. Then we will take some candles, which we will place around that mirror, and we'll let those candles burn throughout the night. When we will wake up, we will find out that on top of the mirror, there will be some bundles of cash. So what happened after 3 months when we were making this money was that one day we woke up and there was no money on top of that mirror. My boyfriend, he has since left South Africa. He has gone to Nigeria to speak with his voodoo priest. I could not go with him, and when he was there, he called me, and that is why I want some advice from your listeners. So when he was there, he told me that I was supposed to go and stand in front of the mirror. This I did when I was naked late at night. He had told me what I was supposed to say whilst I'll be standing in front of that mirror. So I did. When I woke up, I then saw that there was blood that was coming out of that mirror. I immediately called him, and I even took a video which I sent to him on WhatsApp, and he showed that video to his voodoo priest. And my boyfriend, he has since texted me, and he has said that that voodoo priest then said that the blood that is coming out of that mirror, it tastes like the blood of my father, which means that I have to sacrifice my father. My boyfriend has since told me that I am supposed to take some money and I have to go and buy my father a very expensive suit and a gift that I have to go and give to him, even if he will not accept that gift. But I have to leave this gift at the place where he is staying with his new wife. Then I will be able to sacrifice him. But my brother, I do not know if I am supposed to do this. I know that my father, what he did was wrong when he refused to accept me, but he is still my father. I am still his blood. I don't think that it is going to be easy for me to sacrifice him. So I thought that I had played my part the time when I had sacrificed my womb. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister, who is saying that her boyfriend has since told her that he is unable to return back to South Africa before she would have sacrificed his own father. This guy is saying that the moment that he lands in South Africa, he is going to die, for the mirror is going to demand his blood. The first time around, she said, the mirror wanted him to sacrifice his mother and failed. So this mirror is very angry at him. So she has to sacrifice again. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.